Ms. Hulsinger, you petitioned the court for a DNA test to prove that the defendant is the father of your 2-year-old son, Gabriel. You say Mr. Maye has abandoned his responsibilities and he will get the truth today.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Maye, you claim you were pressured into signing the birth certificate and now you are stuck with a woman who foolishly believes you are her child's father. Is
Yes,
that
Your
correct?
Honor.
So you're not doing anything for this child right
Your
now?
Honor. I'm out of the child's life right now.
The child's 2 years old?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you agree? Nothing, Ms. Hulsinger?
He hasn't done anything for my son at all. He missed his first steps, him calling his first words, which was dad. He's just not there, you know, and it's hurting me because it's hurting my son. And it's sad.
I have my doubts though, Your Honor.
How did you meet?
I met him off the chat line. I was lonely, so I decided to call and try to basically find something to do.
Yeah, she found something to do and we end up messing around too fast. You know what I mean? Too fast and...
Right, that's what I don't understand about these chat lines, Ron. It's supposed to be chatting.
Yeah.
Yes.
How did it get?
The chatting and things start happening.
So then you met her? Obviously.
Yes, ma'am.
Take me to the night in question where all the chatting turned into paternity court material.
Your Honor, it was a late night. She was one of the young ladies who was on at the other end of the line and left me a message. I left her a message and we ended up hooking up.
Do you remember that first night, Ms. Hulsinger?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you use protection?
No, Your Honor.
So what happened when you got to the point where you realized you were pregnant?
I called him and told him that it was a possibility of me having his child.
That wasn't how it went.
Yes, it is.
No. Months and months passed by, and then she just told me that she was pregnant.
Were you all still in a sexual relationship all
Yes,
the
Your Honor.
time?
Yes, Your Honor.
How many months is that?
I think about 4 months.
I need details.
Yes, ma'am. She called me one day. She told me she was pregnant.
And what did you say?
For the most part, I was cool with it. You know, I'm a man of my word. I take care of all my kids, you know what I'm saying? So when she told me she was pregnant, I was gonna be there for her.
And were you happy? Were you saying, oh, I'm gonna have another child?
I was excited.
You're lying.
Why is he lying, Ms. Hulsinger? What was his response? Is he lying about that too?
He was like, are you serious? Are you sure it's mine?
Did you have doubts in the beginning, Mr. Maye?
No, I did not in the beginning.
Yes, you did.
Not in the beginning. She told me her word. I took her word for what it was. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't.
That's not true.
That's not true.
At what point did you say to yourself, I may not be the only possible father here?
that came at a time when I was over her house. One time we was upstairs in her room and hearing beep, 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 beep outside, and, you know, it didn't leave. So she was asking me, was I ready to leave? So got to go downstairs, and I'm about to go out the back door. She told me to go out the front door. So I say, no, let me go on out the back door. Open up the back door, there's a gentleman right there.
Really?
And he asked me, was I there for Mrs. Hulsinger? I told him I wasn't there for Mrs. Hulsinger. I was there for one of her family members, and I proceeded to walk on out the door while she hid behind the refrigerator.
Oh, you saw her hiding?
Yeah.
Were you hiding behind the refrigerator, Miss Hulsinger?
Yes, ma'am, I was, because... Yes, ma'am, I was, because...
In your own house?
Yes, ma'am, because this man would
What
not
was
leave
she
me
hiding
alone.
for?
And I did
Why
not
was
want to
she
deal with
hiding?
him. And he would just pop up all the time, and I just didn't want to... I didn't want to deal with that.
Who is this guy?
And at the time, she's pregnant.
It's a guy that I used to mess with, and I had cut it off with him totally. So that basically what put a wedge between me and him.
That wasn't the only thing, though, Your Honor.
Oh, what else?
I mean, I'm not too heavy of a sleeper, so at the time, you know, I'm spending the night with her. I'm seeing messages pop up on the phone. That led me to doubt, too. Not only the backdoor situation, but just text messages, you know what I mean? Things I would hear on the streets and things of that nature.
So you were also hearing rumors. I need you
Yes.
to be specific.
A mutual friend had told me that he had been involved with Miss Hulsinger. You know what I mean? And
who was that? I wasn't even in a relationship, so why would I have to hide somebody's
why was she hiding
name and a
herself,
number?
Your Honor? Why was she hiding herself from when the dude knocked on the back door? She wasn't.
Because he was my stalker.
Okay, So bottom line is you were hearing rumors. You saw messages on her phone.
Guys knocking at the back door, Your Honor.
Guys knocking at the back door. This is all while she's pregnant and you all are still seeing each other.
Yes.
And so you thinking to yourself, you might not be the only father here.
I kind of scratched my head and thought that.
So when you actually went into labor.
Yes, ma'am, he wasn't there for me. My family member actually had to go and get him so he could come up there and see my son.
Oh, so they went to go get him.
And I
Yes,
had
ma'am.
my doubts. That's why I wasn't willing to just go catch the bus or get a ride or anything. So.
But what I don't understand, Mr. May, is if you are sleeping with her the entire pregnancy and you know that there is a potential that the child could be yours, even if your spidey sense has been activated and you've seen why wouldn't you show up for the birth?
I had my doubts, Your Honor. I really had my doubts.
But the doubts don't prevent you from making it to the bed, but they prevent you from making it to the birth. If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. In your court papers, I see here, it says you signed the birth certificate too.
Yes,
How
Your
did
Honor.
that happen?
Pressure.
So
I'm getting, he has your nose, he has your head. What you gonna do now? This, that. And I'm just like, let me just be a man. Let me sign the birth certificate. If it's mine, I'm gonna deal with it.
Because at
Do
that
the right
point,
thing
her
at that
family has come and picked you up.
Yes.
And you didn't call for this
No, I
ride.
didn't call for nothing.
Did you know when you signed that birth certificate? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
That you would be now
Yes, Your
the
Honor.
legal father of this child?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you did it anyway?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Hulsinger, this photo was submitted to the court. It is Mr. May with a little beautiful baby, Gabriel. I don't see a lot of doubt in this photo.
Cause it ain't. Cause he know that baby is his, Your Honor. And it's really hurting me that he's not stepping up to be a man. My son needs
Your
his
Honor.
father.
Your
And it
Honor.
hurts me. And, and I know I'm part of the blame because I know I wasn't in a relationship with him and that, I was doing my own thing too, as well as him. Because he was out there doing what he wanted to do too.
With me doing what I'm doing has nothing to do with her affecting her having.
Well, that part I'll give you. You really can't go tit for tat with a man
And that's
in
what
that
it-
way
and-
because, let me talk.
sorry.
I'm saying something that benefits you.
Yes, ma'am.
Ultimately, they can make this claim, and it is true, that they can sleep around all over town, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
But when you do and you get pregnant, you don't know who your child's father is. There's a difference. There's a different burden women carry. That's just ours. You know what I mean?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you said you were out there doing you, and you admitted it. So why are you so sure he is the biological father?
He signed the birth certificate.
Well, that doesn't
and I
make
know
him the
I slept
biological
with him
father.
the whole pregnancy, and I know I didn't sleep with nobody else.
Your Honor.
Right after, basically, even when I first began to sleep with him, I never slept with anybody else.
I need some proof. I need to understand how you came to this
Your Honor.
conclusion.
Because I have the...
You do.
Yes,
Ron,
the
can you
date.
hand me that, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Her evidence.
Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. May.
I received a phone call. I don't remember the guy's name. He said he was the father. And
You got a phone call from another guy that said he was the father?
Another man that she told him that they were going to have a happy family together and move
That's
away.
a lie.
And
That's a lie.
Really? Who is this person?
I told you he was a stalker, and he just pops up anytime I was moving.
Your
at
Honor.
the
Oh,
time.
that's the same guy from
Yes,
the
ma'am.
refrigerator
Yes,
scene?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
No.
And he stole my phone.
Hold on. So you're saying it's a different guy
Different
from
guy,
the
Your Honor.
refrigerator incident?
Totally
No.
different guy.
No,
Total
it's the
different
same guy. It's the same guy.
If he stole your phone, how did he know to call Mr. May?
Because I told him that, look, I'm pregnant. I don't need this in my life. And I guess he stole the phone and called him and made up a whole bunch of lies because he knew that I was not trying to mess with him.
But he knew he could possibly be the father too. He knew that.
Because he told you that?
Yes.
Did you tell someone else they could possibly be the father, Miss Hulsinger?
No, I didn't. But I also told him, I wasn't sure.
You're wavering. No, that's not what you just said. That's not what you testified to earlier. The truth is that there was an issue with regard to who the biological father was of this child?
Yes, Your Honor. And I
Okay,
told
let me
you
look
from
at
the
this
beginning.
evidence. You've presented me with a calendar, and it gives me the day you were intimate with Mr. Maye.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that would be January 26th.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then you believe you conceived on January 28th.
I believe I conceived on the 28th.
Okay, so that's Mr. Maye. Were you intimate with anyone else around these dates?
Maybe a week between.
Oh, which week?
I would say the week of the 13th.
So the week of the 13th, you were intimate with refrigerator guy?
Yes, Your Honor.
So this calendar was missing some significant information, because if you were intimate with the refrigerator guy the whole week of the 13th, that is very close to the window of conception that you lined up for Mr. Maye.
Yeah.
So how do we know this other guy isn't the child's biological father?
Your Honor, I don't think she really knows, because there was a time where she had gave me some money to keep Gabriel, and then the
Gave
end of
you
the
money to keep him.
Hold on, let me. I'm gonna break it down.
Only to help?
Hold on, I'm gonna break it down. At the end of the week, I finally get a hold of Miss Hulsinger, and she tells me I always had my doubts about him being a father. That's why I gave you the $100 so you could just be the babysitter. I'm on my way to pick him up right now.
I never even told you that.
So I tell her, no, you ain't gotta
I
pick
never
him
even
up. I'm
told
gonna go
you
ahead
that.
and drop him off. So lo and behold, I'm just want to be sure. So I call her a few times after, I dropped him off. Family member of hers, why you keep calling her? Do we have to call the police on you for stalking her? He ain't your son. We told you he wasn't your son. So at that point, I left it alone. It was over with.
So your family member did tell him that he was not the child's
Because
father?
no, they did not say that.
They
But
told me that I
they
wasn't
said
the
for
father.
him to just leave me alone because he was
Why would
very
they say that?
belligerent.
But you had dropped the baby off over there. How is he gonna leave you alone and he has the baby?
I dropped the baby off, and it was over to me.
So when's the last time you saw Gabriel?
Since I actually, held him, and
Yes.
it's been a long time. Then
So Ms. Hulsinger, has this other guy seen Gabriel?
Yeah, because he barged in one day and.
Why does he?
'Cause he's a
Don't you
stalker.
lock your door? Why is he always at your door and barging in?
I have two other small children, and they let him in. And I tried to stay away from him, but he would not leave me alone.
When he thinks about my dad, he thinks about Mr. Maye.
Yes, Your Honor.
You know he calls you dad?
A few times she didn't call me and, told me that. But here's my thing. Did he call the other guy dad?
No, not at all.
Because, see, it was a test before it was mine. She had another guy tested.
You had another man tested?
Yes, Your Honor.
So wait a minute now. You just said to me earlier, Ms. Hulsinger, now you need to just tell the truth. From the beginning, you knew there was more than one possible father.
Yes, Your Honor.
You had this gentleman tested.
Yes, Your Honor.
What type of test? A home test?
Yes, Your Honor.
And so, do you have the results here with you?
No, I don't.
Did you
It only
ever
stays
see
on
these
there.
results, Mr. Maye?
Mom said she's seen them, but I didn't get a chance to see. And she said it kind of looked kind of shaky a little bit. So she didn't really believe Miss Hulsinger, and she told me that I should, get a DNA test for the little boy, because he doesn't deserve to not know who his father is. It's not his fault.
All right. Well, one thing's for sure. This court has ordered, and you have submitted to a legitimate test, and I have the results for you. Ron, I'm ready.
Here you go, Your Honor.
Thank you. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Hulsinger versus Maye, when it comes to 2-year-old Gabriel Maye, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Maye, you are the father. Good news.
Yes, ma'am.
Great.
He has a great father.
Listen.
I can't tell.
Listen, it's amazing when I think about you all saying you just were feeling lonely and didn't know what to do with yourself, so you just called a chat line. And to go from a chat line, literally, to standing before me in this courtroom, it says a lot. Lack of responsibility, no safe sex, lack of accountability, because you signed that birth certificate. If you're man enough to do that, be man enough to be there till you get the test. Because now Gabriel's 2.
I have my doubts, Your Honor.
I get that. The problem is you stepped up, then stepped back. And that is difficult for a child. And Ms. Hulsinger, I'm telling you, you weaved a wicked web. I mean, parts of your story were going left, the other parts were going right. You were not telling the truth the whole time. And that's why he had doubt. You've got to honor the part you had to play as well. Now, it would be different if you were just a young man sowing your oats.
I am.
And you had let all these women know that, listen, I'm a dating man, I'm single, but you're not single.
I am.
You're not single. You are married to her.
That was an accident. That was.
No.
So now it was an accident.
Okay.
So now it was an accident.
And so,
right.
And so I hope you are not suggesting that your relationship with her is an accident because you have 3 children with her and a family as well. In addition, you have another child with Ms. Austin.
The kids, I love my kids dearly, but I shouldn't have
You
got
just
married.
don't love their mothers.
Correct.
So let me ask you this.
Correction, he's lying because he was texting me a couple of weeks ago telling me how he still loved me. So you honestly still love me, the relationship just over with.
You married to him.
Yes, but we're trying to get divorced. I want nothing
Well,
to do
I'll
with right
give you
here.
all this news flash. You're still married until you divorce. And you have 3 children who are counting on you to handle that maturely and respectfully, unlike how you acted in here today. Now let's go back to Miss Austin. Have you gotten yourself together? You okay? Step on up here. I want to hear from you. Now you say you are the soon-to-be Mrs. Wallace, even though that's technically still his wife. What are you thinking that you're engaged to a man that's still married? That don't make no sense.
And then he's gonna be in a relationship with you and say the same thing. He cheated because he boring and you can't cook. So why would you do the same stupid thing I did?
Miss Reed, give Ms. Austin a chance. I really want to know from you. What are you thinking?
Probably just falling for what he tells me. What's he saying?
You falling for what he tells you? But if you hear what he's done in all of these accounts of these women, do you realize all you all are telling the same story? It's the same story. What are you thinking? Why would you say you want to be Mrs. Wallace?
I thought Rael got himself together. I thought he pulled himself together to be in a relationship with me. That's what I thought.
You did? Why did you think that?
He stopped doing everything. He stopped cheating. He even gave me his phone.
But did you know that Miss Reed said he just texted her a couple weeks ago and said he wanted to be with her and
That's
Miss
news to me. I
Roberts?
didn't know that he texted Dominique. I didn't know that he texted Kendra. I didn't know. This is all new to me today.
That's false. I didn't text them.
Your Honor,
So you're a changed man?
Yes.
Your Honor, the cycle never, the cycle is not gonna stop with Rael.
All right. You know what? I'm going to get to the paternity results in a moment, but first, I need to read the results of Mr. Wallace's lie detector test. Jerome, can you hand me the envelope, please?
There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Wallace, you were administered a lie detector test. In advance of taking the lie detector test, You admitted to having sex with 4 other women that were not involved in this case during the past 3 months. Before you were ever asked a question, you just admitted it. So during this test, you were asked, other than what you told me, have you had sex with any other women in the past 3 months? You had admitted in advance that you had sex with 4 other women that weren't involved in this case, and the lie detector indicated that you were telling. So during this test, you were asked, other than what you told me, have you had sex with any other women in the past 3 months? You had admitted in advance that you had sex with 4 other women that weren't involved in this case, and the lie detector indicated that you were telling the truth. So this means you had sex with 4 other women, not Ms. Austin, not Ms. Roberts, not Ms. Reed, in the past 3 months. That's what you admitted to, and the lie detector confirmed it. Now, Ms. Austin, do you still want to be Mrs. Wallace knowing this?
No.
I can't hear you.
No.
It seems like it almost hit you by surprise, like you weren't expecting to hear that. Look at me. Don't be ashamed. Look, first of all, let's really keep it real. You're not the first woman nor the only woman in this room that has loved the wrong man for too long. So that right there, let's just be honest with that. Look, and Ms. Reed is clapping for you on that. So you don't hold your head down, lift your head up. So you made a bad decision. You love somebody that didn't love you back the way you wanted them to. That's human nature. We go through that as women. But what I want to understand is, do you understand clearly what I've been trying to say to you?
Yes.
That you've got 3 women in this room telling the same story of lies about one man. Now he's admitted in advance of taking the lie detector test, you know what? Why even take the lie detector? I'll just tell the truth. What I don't understand is, Mr. Wallace, you tell me all the truth, but you don't tell anybody you're sleeping with any truth. But you stand in here, and when I ask you something, you just say, yep, that's correct. That is correct.
They know what I am. They know what I do.
So, listen, I'll tell you what you are.
A liar.
Thank you.
A cheater.
You
A
is too.
heartbreaker.
No, don't say I
Cheated
am
on
nothing.
you because you cheat on me.
No, you didn't.
If
No,
I could go
is
back
that
to
the
hands
lies?
of time, I would have did more things when I was
Is that the lies you said?
So what you're saying is, if you could go back in time, you would cheat on your wife
yes,
more.
I would do it again.
Because you feel
because
like
she is a whore. She cheated on me. She slept with my friends.
He started
She
saying,
is
who's
a
your
whore.
friend?
She has about 6
Let's get some
boyfriends
order.
right
Let's
now.
get some order.
You don't come on here and try to act like
Hold on,
you
Mr.
so perfect.
Wallace, you're not going to address a
listen
woman
to
in
me.
this courtroom that way.
That
You
is not
better pipe
acceptable.
yourself down.
Oh man.
Listen.
Listen.
Listen to me. You don't flip people off. You don't use profanity in my courtroom. You understand me?
No.
You want to go out of here?
Yeah.
Mr. Wallace, get out the court. Get out the court.
And don't
You know
touch
what?
me.
Hey,
You
what are you going to do
sorrier
about
than
it?
I thought you were.
Let's go.
Get
We're going
out
out
of the courtroom, Mr.
Don't be dumb.
Wallace.
You don't be
Mr.
dumb.
Wallace,
Go out
leave
there.
the
God don't scare
courtroom.
me.
Go out of the
I'm from
courtroom.
Chirac, boy.
Leave
I don't care. Go out of
the
the courtroom.
courtroom, Mr. Wallace. Mr. Wallace, I know you had to have a moment. Sometimes we have to have that in life, but I'm glad you're back.
I'd like to apologize to you and the court and the bailiff and to Miss Reed and Miss Austin and Miss Roberts as well. The thing is, where I'm from,
Go ahead, baby. Talk. Tell me.
came here for my kids. I never had a father
Take your time.
I never had anybody to show me how to treat a woman or to be a man, or I'm just here for my kids. Where I'm from, the way that I treat women, it's the only way I know. That's the only thing that's accepted from where I'm from. Just need help just need help.
And that's why we're here. What do you want from this? Because, let's be honest, you didn't have to come.
I want to be a better father and a better role model to my kids.
Yes. Now, I need to say something to you, now that you've made your apology. As I sat here earlier and watched you, I said to myself, wow, this guy's really acting like a jerk. But I think the important word in that sentence was acting. Because what we see now is you're really not that jerk. That's a tough exterior you put on to mask a lot of the hurt that you felt. It's from the things and the issues you've been a victim of. Your childhood, not having a father. And I want to say to you in front of everybody that you could have walked out that door and never come back. And that's what a boy would have done. And what did you do? You walked back in. I'm proud of you for that. I'm so proud of you for that. Because when you say to me, I've never learned how to treat a woman or how to be in a relationship, that's the truth, and that's what this courtroom is about. Sometimes you got to lay it on the line, because when you tell the truth, that's where people know where to meet you. I want to meet you exactly where you are. You say, Judge, I don't have a clue. And I say, you know what, Roniel, I got your back. And we are going to make sure you have the resources to become the kind of man and the kind of father I know you want to be, okay? Now it's time for the DNA results. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, Miss Austin, because things were so volatile, it was an emotional time, I'm going to ask that you leave the courtroom. And Jerome, if you could escort her
through that door.
Thank you. And I'm going to ask Ms. Roberts back in. Welcome back, Ms. Roberts. You all right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Like I told Mr. Wallace, sometimes in life we have a moment where we let our anger get the best of us, but I think it's a wonderful thing that you were woman enough to walk back through that door and come and get the truth you came here for, okay? Are you ready for the results? Okay. Jerome, will you hand me the envelope, please?
Certainly.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This report, as prepared by DNA Diagnostics, reads as follows. In the case of Roberts versus Wallace, when it comes to baby Danielle Wallace, Mr. Wallace, you... Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. In the case of Roberts versus Wallace, when it comes to baby Danielle Wallace, Mr. Wallace, you are the father.
I gotta go.
Mr. Wallace, how you feel?
Glad that he's my son, and I apologize for all the pain and suffering that I caused all 3 of these women for like the past 2 years. It's been going on every day, and I apologize.
You know, there are times in life when you have to just look at a situation and know, I have just done everything possible that I could do wrong. You blew it. Okay, now what? You stated your truth. You've made an earnest apology, and we know it's earnest. And look what we have here. Thank you, Miss Roberts. Come on back in. I believe Mr. Wallace wanted to say something to you. He said it when you left. Mr. Wallace, go ahead.
I apologize to you for everything I put you through. You're a great mother to my son, my other kids that I have with everybody else, and to the rest of your kids. You've been nothing but nice since I met you. You're a good person and a great mother, and I apologize.
Very good. Ms. Roberts, is something you'd like to say?
Yes. I just feel like, you know, it ain't been nothing but like favoritism with my son ever since I had him. From the stuff they done said about him and stuff, he is an innocent baby. Like, I ain't have a father in my life, so I don't want my kids to grow up not having no father in their life. And all the times he wasn't around him, just because if he was with her or the Mary or whatever, I felt like that wasn't right. I feel like if you get one, get the other, no matter what they say, how angry you think they gonna be. And I felt like my baby didn't deserve that, period.
He didn't. And you know what? While you were outside of the courtroom, Mr. Wallace has already said that he intends to right his wrong. And he wants to be the father to his children, all of them. So now, for your child's sake, you have to encourage his father. You hear me? Miss Reed, can you support that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Wallace, looks like to me this day turned out a lot better than you thought. Okay? I'm counting on you. Those children are counting on you. Get it done. Nowhere to go but up from here, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Court is adjourned.